Kumusta mga kabibo? Andito na naman tayo sa isang episode ng The Bibo Project. Sa episode na ito, ay pag-uusapan natin ang isa sa mga importanteng concepts na pinag-aaralan sa subject na biology. At ito ay walang iba, kundi ang tungkol sa cell. Sa episode na ito ay parang review ng cell structure and function. Kadalasan, ito ay nababanggit or ang cell ay nababanggit na sa tinatawag nating grade school na pag-aaralan din sa grade 7 at ito ay nababanggit sa ibang mga lessons sa ibang grade level sa junior high. And once again, ito ay tinuturo muli sa senior high school. Kaya nga dapat ang isang mag-aaral bago graduate ng senior high school, lalong-lalo na kung siya ay nag-belong or belongs to a STEM strand, dapat ito ay alam niya na by heart. Subalit may mga bagay kasi na sabihin natin nakakaligtaan natin, kaya nga may mga bagay na hindi pa rin natin naiintindihan, even to the point na dapat sa level na yon, alam na natin yon because those are the basics. Pero don't worry, kaya natin ginawa ang video na to ay para mas maintindihan natin, kaya naman maalala natin kung ano ang mga bagay-bagay patungkol sa cell. So, start na tayo. Alright. So, sinasabi ng mga eksperto na ang cell is the basic functional unit of life. Ngayon, it's basic functional unit basically because of the following, which is stated in a theory. And this is what you call the cell theory. Ang sabi daw, all organisms are made up of cells. So, it means plants, animals includes us, your dog, your cat, even the rat, in your area, okay? And the elephants and the giraffe in the zoo, they are all made up of cells. And even the microorganisms, the bacteria, the fungi, and also the protists are made up of cells. Next, it's the basic functional unit of life because it is something that kahit na yung organism ay isang cell lang siya, ibig sabihin, it's only made up of one cell, it can carry out all the basic life functions. Ano yung basic life functions? Growth, andyan yung consumption of food, digestion, response to stimuli. That's why it's considered as the basic unit of all living things. And the third one, stated in the cell theory, sabi daw nila is the cells come from pre-existing cells. A cell cannot come from a non-cell. That's the third premise in the cell theory. Very important people who contributed to this theory are Matthias Claden, who is a German scientist, who stated that all plants are made up of cell. Likewise, Theodor Schwann, a German scientist as well, stated that all living organisms, all animals are made up of cell as well. And Theodor Schwann was the one who formulated or stated the first two premises in the cell theory. Now, the third person involved in the cell theory is Rudolf Virchow or Virchow, who stated that cells wouldn't develop from anything but other cells. Ibig sabihin, cells came from pre-existing cells. Ang cell hindi manggagaling sa isang bagay na hindi makukonsider na cell. So that is basically what the cell theory means. There are two types of cells. You have the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. Basically, they differ in structure and the parts that are present or absent in them. So, yung yellow na nakikita nyo is the prokaryotic cell and the one that looks like violet is the eukaryotic cell. There are parts of these two cells that are common in the two of them. And these are shown here. You have the plasma membrane, you have the cytoplasm, both also have DNA, which is the genetic material. Only the prokaryotic cell has the nucleoid region kasi ang eukaryotic cell, meron siyang nucleus. And both have ribosomes in them. Now let's try to look further into the parts or what is present and absent in them. For the prokaryotic cells, nucleus is absent. There is no nucleus, pero meron siyang nucleoid region. Nakita niyo naman yung spelling kanina, and you can see it here projected as well. And this is where the genetic material are concentrated. Dun sila makikita. Sunod, organelles are absent. Baka magsasabi, sir, hindi po ba yung organelle, yung ribosome organelle po yun? No. Ribosomes are not organelles. Basically because for an organelle to be called an organelle, dapat composed siya ng double membrane system. It has a genetic material, also a DNA. However, it is circular in structure. And the best example that belongs to the prokaryotic cell are the bacteria. Lahat ng klase ng bacteria. The second type of cell is the eukaryotic cell. In this type of cell, nucleus is present. That is where the genetic material called the DNA is found. Organelles are surrounded by a double membrane system. DNA is linear, in contrast dun sa prokaryotic cell na circular. And they are found in animals, just like us, plants, fungi, and protists. Organelles. There is the concept of organelles, and that is something that we have to understand as well. When we say organelles, these are structures with specific functions or with specific functions that helps the cell to live, grow, and reproduce. At ang nakikita nyo sa screen ay artistic representation of how they look like, but they really don't look like that. Because in the micrograph or seen under the microscope, they really do not have color or colors. So let us discuss them in detail in the following slides. First is you have the cell membrane. The cell membrane is the outer layer of the cell. So it serves as the boundary of a cell with or from another cell. Nakatabi niya. Now, another function is that it permits nutrients in going into the cell and waste outside of the cell. So, ibig sabihin, it does not allow any foreign material to go inside the cell without it approving the entry. So, siya magsasabi na, diyan ka lang, hindi ka po pwedeng pumasok sa loob ng cell because you could be something that could cause harm to the cell. And then, pag halimbawa, sobra na yung amount ng specific material inside the cell that will cause imbalance, that is considered waste, it's going to be released by the cell already. So that's the function of the cell membrane. Those are the functions, actually. Next is the cytoplasm. Some say, just like what's stated here, it's the jelly-like fluid found in the cell where the organelles are suspended. So, nakikita natin itong structure na to. So, lahat ng yan, ng area na yan, sa loob ng cell, kung saan nakasuspend o nakalubog o nakalutang yung mga organelles, that is what you call the cytoplasm. Other books and other experts say that cytoplasm is the space between the nucleus and the cell membrane. They are closely related with one another. That's why pwedeng isipin na natin na cytoplasm is the space or cytoplasm is the jelly-like fluid in the cell. The nucleus. Of course, this one is found only in eukaryotic cell and it is the one that controls all the activities. Kumbaga parang sa tao, sa ating anatomy, ito yung brain because the brain controls all of the activities in our body. So kung mag-a-analogize tayo, that is how it looks like, or that is how we're going to think of it. And it is where the DNA of the cell is found. But take note, in eukaryotic cells, it's not only in the DNA, or it's not only in the nucleus where the DNA is found. It's also found in the mitochondrion or mitochondria. And there is a theory that before daw, si mitochondria was an independent organism. That is something that we're going to discuss in another video lesson. So kung nakikita natin, si nucleus, there's the DNA, meron din siyang nucleolus, which is a part of it, and also the nuclear membrane. Next organelle is the mitochondria. It is the source of power of the cell. Bakit? Kasi it provides the energy. The cell needs to move, divide, and carry out all the cellular processes that it needs to do to survive. In addition to that, the process cellular respiration is the site of the process of cellular respiration, or the process wherein the cell generates ATP, which is the energy currency of the cell. Now, you can see that is also an organelle because it is composed of a double membrane bound system. You have the outer membrane and you also have the inner membrane system. Ang sabi nga daw, pagka dinidescribe yan by structure, it's a slipper-like structure. Sinama rito yung ribosomes, but once again, this is not an organelle. Bakit? Kasi hindi siya composed of a double membrane system. But it is very important. Why? Because it is the site of protein synthesis or protein production. And this protein is very important to us. Why? Because basically, we are made up of, that the cells in us are made up of proteins. And proteins, important proteins are the enzymes. Enzymes are proteins as well. Next is the endoplasmic or endoplasmic reticulum. Sometimes it has the acronym of ER, and it is the system of transportation within the cell, because this is where most of the molecules move or pass through. And there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. You have the rough ER and you also have the smooth ER. Rough ER kasi kung nakikita ninyo, this is how the endoplasmic reticulum looks like, and it is bombarded, no? Or meron siyang mga parang, sabihin natin mga bilog-bilog, and these are the ribosomes, no? And you also have the smooth ER, meaning there are no ribosomes. And it's very, very logical that the ribosomes are found there kasi pagkatapos nilang mag-generate at mag-package ng mga protein, ready na sila for transport, either within the cell for its own use or for transport, export sa labas ng cell na gagamitin sa cell ng ibang organ ng katawan. Okay? Then you also have the Golgi complex. Sa tinatawag din na Golgi apparatus, both are correct. It's the packaging center of the cell. It packages, processes, and ships out the stuff the cell creates, like proteins. The packaging of a certain protein is very important because it helps determine its destination. Okay? Next are the lysosomes. The lysosomes function mainly in breaking down food particles and cell parts that are already too old or decrepit, hindi na magagamit. Okay? At tinatawag yan na suicidal. But and then it protects the cell by digesting foreign microorganisms. That's why they are called monitors. Next, you have the vacuole. Generally, vacuole stores water, food, and waste. Sabi daw, si vacuole ay mas prominent sa mga halaman or sa plant cell kaysa sa animal cell. Pero studies have found that even animal cells have small vacuoles in them. O syempre, yung bakal nga ng tubig, ang cell ng animal, even the cell of the animal, needs water as well. Every organism here on Earth needs water. You also have the cell wall. Cell wall generally are known to be present only in plant cells, and the function is to protect and support the cell. Kaya ang shape ng plant cell regular. Ibig sabihin, meron siyang specific shape. But I would like to put emphasis that cell walls are not only found in plant cells, but also in bacteria and in fungi. But in bacteria and fungi, iba lang yung composition. Pagdating sa bacteria, ang composition ng cell wall ay peptidoglycan. Whereas fungus, it's chitin or chitin na tinatawag. Ano lang pinagkaiba? What is different among the three types of cell wall are the sugar or carbohydrates that composes them. Si cell wall, it's composed of cellulose, whereas si cell wall ni fungi, it's made up of chitin. Whereas ang cell wall ni bacteria is made up of peptidoglycan. So ito yung unang kwento ko sa inyo dati na may sugar din sa cell wall ng bacteria. And that is the very reason na kapag halimbawa, meron ka na ng sore throat and then kakain ka pa ng matamis, inuubo ka, and the bacteria very much likes that. Bakit? Kasi mas lalo silang dumidikit doon sa throat natin, basically because mas na-enhance yung structure niya ng cell wall. Kasi kung sugar yon, syempre peptidoglycan is sugar, yung sugar na ini-intake mo, nag-a-add up or tumutulong para mabuo pa yung cell wall ni bacteria na nagkukos ng, sabihin natin, strep throat, no? Something like that. Next is you have the chloroplast. Si chloroplast is present only in plant cells. It contains chlorophyll, which is important in making the plants green, and it's very important in capturing the sunlight that is needed for photosynthesis to happen. Remember that photosynthesis is the food-making process of the plant. That is why the chloroplast is considered as the site of photosynthesis. That is where photosynthesis happens, chloroplast. And this is how the chloroplast looks like. Now, for the last slide, we are going to compare the plant and animal cell. So what is present in plant and animal cells, and on the right side of your screen, we're going to specify what are only present in plant cells. So kung nakikita natin, present in plant and animal cells are nucleus, Golgi complex, mitochondrion, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, cell membrane, ribosomes, and vacuoles. Present yung mga yon kasi they are eukaryotic cells. Now, present only in plant cells are the chloroplast and cell wall. Wala yan sa animal cell. Yun ay dapat paliwanag sa inyo, mga bata. And that ends our video lesson for this episode of the Vivo Project. Nawa ay may natutunan kayo sa ating lecture sa araw na ito. Kung kayo ay may natutunan, please hit at nagustuhan ninyo ang video na ito. Please hit like, subscribe, at maaaring i-share din ito sa kapwa mag-aaral na medyo nahihirapan sa structure and function ng cell at sa pinagkaiba ng plant and animal cell. Maraming salamat sa inyong panonood at paalam!